Alright, video number 2. The UFC returns to Brazil, and here come the predictions. Expect a lot of Brazilian winners. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. On the undercard, we have Francisco Trinaldo versus CJ Keith. Trinaldo, all the way. Keith, don't know why you have a job. There's the door. That's really all there is to say it. I don't even know what he's supposed to be good at. Trinaldo probably taking him down, either submitting him or blasting his head into the canvas. Pretty early. Wagner Prado versus Ildemar Alcantara. Make it a habit not to pick two guys with the same last name on the same card. And this will continue because I'm taking Wagner Prado to stop Ildemar Alcantara, who I was never particularly impressed with at middleweight. And now he's at 205, and he's in the UFC. I mean, I understand it was a late notice replacement for Roger Hollett, and that was a bad fight. This is a worse fight. Yuri Alcantara, Pedro Nobre, another late replacement, although I like Pedro Nobre. He's a guy who I think can win fights in the UFC at this weight class, but that being said, I do have to take Yuri Alcantara. He is a better striker. I think he's a better wrestler than Nobre is. I think Nobre is better on the ground, but Alcantara's never had a particular problem with that. I mean, Hector Diaz is better on the ground, and he couldn't really do a lot with Alcantara on the ground. He did win, but a big part of what he allowed him to win was his just awkward style that allowed him to get inside, land a lot of shots to the body, get a lot of takedowns, and so on. Wasn't as much the ground game. Moving on, Edson Barbosa, Lucas Martins. I'm really looking forward to this fight because as much as I struggled to find much on Lucas Martins in terms of fights, I found a couple. He looks very exciting, very much like a Muay Thai fighter. The problem is that Barbosa seems to be better at that. So I got Barbosa winning by TKO stoppage in the second round. That being said, look out for Lucas Martins, and I will be sort of hoping he does well. I'm hoping this is a good fight. Nick Lentz, Diego Nunez, taking Diego Nunez by split decision. Why? Because Nick Lentz never loses a unanimous decision, it seems. I think the only exception was the Evan Dunham fight. Or, pardon me, the Mark Bocek fight. Dunham stopped him, yeah. Bocek won unanimous. Yeah, that's it. Split to Sharon Leggett. Majority draw with Tavares. Draw with Kyle Jensen. Yeah, so yeah. He just does not lose unanimous decisions. He's a good wrestler. He's a tough guy. When he tries to fight exciting, he can be exciting, but he generally loses. Which kind of goes back to my... I don't like the criticism of a fighter for fighting boring if he cannot win in an exciting fashion. Because that's kind of my thing. That's my annoyance with Leonard Garcia still having a job is, I fight exciting, but I lose every time I fight exciting, but I still have a job. It comes down to, you gotta win. That being said, even if Lance comes out here and fights the perfect game plan, fights like a wrestler and everything, Nunez is very hard to keep down. He's hard to get there. He's a much better grappler. He's a much better striker. And I see him, particularly with this being in Brazil, with the Brazil favoring judges, I don't see Lentz having some top control really being enough to get this done. Diego Nunez is also involved in a split decision, so yeah, split decision. Ronnie Marquez, Andrew Craig. Ronnie Marquez by decision. Andrew Craig, he's been good at these last-second comeback things, but Kyle No got hurt. Natal's chinny and stupid. He was taunting Craig. He was overconfident. These are the things that Ronnie Marquez has never really shown much of a habit of doing. He very much goes in there. He very much does what he needs to do to win, and I respect that. It may not be terribly exciting, and I don't think this fight's going to be terribly exciting, but go in there, take him down, hold him down, get the decision, get paid, go home. Gianfredo Castro, Milton Vera, hate both these fighters. I'm doing what I very rarely do. No pick. No pick. I can't do it. These two fighters are just... something about them in the ring, out of the ring, it bugs me. And I don't even know what it is, because I don't even have this kind of thing with Jason McDonald. I think it's because I managed to maintain objectivity with McDonald's skills. I don't with these two guys. I just don't. So I am abstaining from a pick. Thiago Tavares could beat Nurmagomedov. If this wasn't in Brazil, I would instantly say Nurmagomedov. I think that he's not going to get subbed. I think that, well, Tavares can strike on the feet. Tavares has never had a good history of stopping the takedown. Nurmagomedov's got a good chin. He's hard to sub, and he can definitely take people down. Normally, that's a recipe for victory, but I'm going to go surprising and pick Thiago Tavares here. This is in Brazil. You look at Tavares' last fight in Brazil against Sam Stout, a fight that Sam Stout clearly won, at least in my opinion. I'm sure someone disagrees with me, but a lot of people I'm talking to agree with me, so it's safe to assume I'm not delusional on the matter. And Tavares won that fight, and I kind of see this going the same way. So here's hoping Nurmagomedov wins, gets his justice, moves on, but I don't know. Gabriel Gonzaga versus Ben Rothwell, two guys that I have a very hard time picking for. I respect both of them being tough guys. I respect both of them being, well, not even tough guys, talented guys in their own specific ways. Guys who do fight who recently we finally see Gabriel Gonzaga fight to a game plan again. Ben Rothwell will always fight to a game plan. They're big guys. They're guys the UFC heavyweight division needs because, let's face it, heavyweights always starved for decent heavyweights. Gonna go with Rothwell via TKO second round because Gonzaga's cardio has always been a bit of a question mark. His chin is a bit of a question mark. His ability to handle the clinch is a question mark. These are things that Rothwell does reasonably well. He hits reasonably hard. He clinches reasonably well. He seems to have his cardio sorted out after the weirdness of the Mark Hunt and the Gilbert Yvel fights. And I still contend he had some kind of injury that he hadn't healed up properly. And people say that's a cop-out and whatever. It's just that you look at Ben Rothwell's other fights, minus the Cain Velasquez one where he got worked. You saw a guy who, for heavyweight, had pretty good cardio and fought at a pretty high pace. And then in the Yvel and the Mark Hunt fights, I think it was Yvel. Just let me real quickly double check that. I'm starting to doubt my own encyclopedic knowledge. That's not good. By the way, thanks to Cass for coining the term. Yeah, it was the Yvel fight. The Yvel fight and the Hunt fight, where he looked not himself. And maybe it's a case of some UFC jitters or something or whatever. But he looks like he's in better shape again. Still kind of pudgy, but you can do that at heavyweight. It looks like he's ready to roll, and I got him stopping Gonzaga. Daniel Serafian and CB Dalloway. Daniel Serafian presents a lot of the problems CB Dalloway generally has, and that is KO power and submissions. Because CB Dalloway tends to get himself stuck in submissions a lot and has a chin. Mayhem showed that, because believe me, Mayhem can stagger you and knock you down. You get a problem. At the same time, I'm just not that impressed with Daniel Serafian. I know he was supposed to be in the finals of the Ultimate Fighter. I also know that I thought that the middleweight division of that Ultimate Fighter Brazil was made up of guys who fought at 170 and lightweight, primarily. And the guy who, on talent should have won the show was Trinaldo, who we talked about earlier. And the thing with Trinaldo is he's a fucking lightweight. I'm going to go with Serafian. Hopefully the Octagon Jaders don't get him. Hopefully Dalloway doesn't go in there and just take him down and kind of outstrike. Because I think Dalloway is the more technical striker. I just think that CB Dalloway striking with anyone's a bad idea. I'll go with Serafian by TKO second round. That's my pick. Excuse me. Vitor Belfort, Michael Bisping. I'm going with Bisping. I've never been a tremendous fan of Vitor Belfort. I think that a lot of what he does is hyperbole. People talk about how great of a boxer he is, but I'm like, I watch him fight. I'm like, he's not great striking. It just isn't. He's very fast. He's very powerful. He's aggressive. He's got killer instinct for days, but great technical striker, no. Obviously, both these guys have some flaws. I question Bisping's chin at times. I don't think it's that bad, though. I think when it comes down to it, I don't know. Oh, this is a tough one, and it's a fight that I'll kind of segue while my brain kind of computes its way through this. It's a fight I don't want to see, in the sense that we're running out of guys for Anderson Silva to fight. And if Belfort wins this fight, we lose another one in Bisping. You can say we kind of lost that because he lost to Chael Sonnen, but he lost to Chael Sonnen in a manner that led a lot of people thinking he won, and a lot of people thinking that it had nothing to do with the Anderson Silva fight because it was wrestling that beat him. If Vitor Belfort goes in there and knocks him out, he's really out of the hunt, and Belfort, he'll probably get another title shot. I think this goes down to he took the shot against Jones and did the company man thing, helped the UFC out, and he's going to get, repaid with a title shot at 185 again. In the end, I'm going to go with Bisping, and I'm going to say that Belfort gets tired. And I'm going to say that Bisping, I'm going to go with a submission. I'm going to go real weird on this one and go Bisping to submit Vitor Belfort in the third round. If his chin can hold a bit on. This is, for a main event recently, this is arguably the least confidence I've ever had in a pick. And that's good. That's good. I like fights that really make me think. And then I'm going into this going, I'm going to watch this fight, and there's a very legitimate way both of these guys win. Anyways, that's my fight card predictions. Have a good one.